Baking soda became the darling of organic gardening forums somewhere in the late 90s and never quite left. The recommendation spread from blog to blog, from gardening group to gardening group, until it achieved the status of received wisdom, the kind of advice that gets passed along not because anyone has tested it carefully but because it has been repeated so many times that repetition itself became the evidence. If you have tried it on powdery mildew or black spot and found the results underwhelming, you are not doing it wrong. You were encountering the limits of a solution that was never as effective as its reputation suggested. The chemistry behind baking soda's antifungal reputation is real, and understanding it is the first step toward understanding why the real-world results disappoint. Sodium bicarbonate raises the pH on the surface it contacts. Most fungal pathogens prefer a slightly acidic environment, and a sufficiently alkaline surface is inhospitable to their growth. In laboratory conditions, where a controlled concentration can be maintained on a controlled surface for a controlled duration, baking soda does inhibit fungal development. The problem is that laboratory conditions share almost nothing with the conditions in your garden. Rain dilutes the baking soda residue within hours of application. Morning dew dilutes it further. The sun degrades it. Wind deposits dust and organic matter that rebuffers the leaf surface pH back toward neutral before the treatment has had time to work. And even in optimal dry conditions, baking soda applied as a foliar spray does not penetrate the existing fungal structures already embedded in the leaf tissue. It can only affect the surface environment, which means it is working against the newest and most superficial fungal growth while leaving established colonies entirely undisturbed. You are changing the welcome mat while the guests are already inside the house. There is also a secondary problem that the organic gardening community rarely discusses openly: sodium accumulation. Baking soda is a sodium compound. Repeated applications to the same soil area deposit sodium that accumulates over a season, and sodium in sufficient concentrations disrupts soil structure, reduces water infiltration rate, and eventually damages the microbial community that healthy soil depends on. A treatment that mildly inconveniences your fungal problem while progressively damaging your soil biology is not a net positive, regardless of how natural its ingredients are. What actually disrupts fungal growth operates at an entirely different level of the problem. Neem oil, specifically cold-pressed and unrefined, contains a compound called azadirachtin alongside a complex of other limonoids that interfere with fungal cell membrane integrity, disrupt the reproductive cycle of fungal pathogens, and create a surface environment that repels new spore germination rather than simply raising pH temporarily. It also has systemic properties that baking soda entirely lacks. Absorbed through leaf tissue, it makes the plant itself less hospitable to fungal colonization from the inside out. Best Naturals 100% pure neem oil, cold-pressed, unrefined, 2 16-ounce bottles, works this way. The unrefined specification is not a preference. The refining process that produces odorless neem oil significantly reduces the azadirachtin fraction that makes it effective against fungal pathogens. If it says refined or odorless on the label, the active component has been diminished. The link to the correct formulation is in the description, and given how fast quality neem oil disappears during peak disease season, it is worth having it before you need it rather than after. The second variable that separates effective neem oil application from ineffective application is coverage, and coverage is entirely a function of application method. A watering can delivers neem oil to the soil, not to the leaf surfaces where fungal pathogens live. A standard spray bottle produces inconsistent droplet size. Large droplets run off the leaf surface before absorption, small droplets evaporate before penetration. Leaf undersides are where fungal spores establish first, sheltered from UV and rain, and they are the surface that most spray applications never reach. The Chapin 1-gallon pump sprayer, translucent tank, adjustable cone nozzle, 34-inch reach hose gives you the consistent fine mist coverage at the pressure and angle necessary to reach underneath canopy cover to the surfaces that matter most. The reach hose is not a convenience feature here. It is what makes the difference between treating the visible surfaces and treating the ones where the problem originates. The link is in the description. Apply in the evening after temperatures begin dropping. Neem oil on sun-warmed leaf surfaces can cause phytotoxicity. The oil absorbs heat and damages the tissue it is supposed to protect. Evening application allows overnight absorption without heat stress. 7-day intervals as a preventive during humid conditions, 5-day intervals for an active outbreak, and continue for 3 full cycles past the point where visible symptoms clear, because fungal pathogens have reproductive stages that remain active and invisible well past the disappearance of surface symptoms. Baking soda is not nothing. It will slow surface fungal development mildly in dry conditions when applied frequently. But the standard it needs to meet is not whether it does anything at all, it is whether it does enough, reliably enough, without the secondary cost to soil health, to justify using it when a genuinely effective alternative exists. On that standard, it does not make the case. Subscribe to Hydrohaven. The product links are in the description. See you in the next one. Settings.